Hi guys, Antoinette here, your career consultant, where I provide services such as cover letter writing, resume writing, interview coaching, and career transition coaching. Now, one great thing about interview coaching is I provide a service like a mock interview where I cater to your specific concerns and your needs for job interviews. So, say for instance, you have an interview coming up, or there's a job that you are looking at and you want to apply, but you're not quite ready for the interviewing process or the stage because you haven't done it in a while. That's where I come into place. I can help you figure out what it is that is a blockage for you in interviews so that when you do get called for your interview, you will be prepared. Head over to hrimpactservices.com to have view a full list of all of my services. And we can even chat for 30 minutes for free. Well, I can assess and see what your actual needs are. All right, so let's head on into the topic for today. Now, we just talked about interviews, and you've gotten that interview, right? You submitted your resume, you had your phone interview, they called you back, and you successfully completed your on-site interview. Now, it's been a couple days and you're wondering, did I just get ghosted? Did I really do as great as I thought I did? Now, a lot of times, this isn't uncommon, by the way. It is unfortunately, this does happen. So, one thing I want you to understand, it is not your fault. Understand that even with the best of interviews, there is a positive side and then there's a negative side. A lot of times, or sometimes, recruiters or hiring managers don't get back to you as quickly as you may want them to. And the truth of the matter is, think of it as healthy competition. Think of it as there are other candidates who did just as well as you did, and now they are torn. The recruiters or the hiring managers are torn between you and another candidate. Think of it in that way, not so much of I didn't do as great as I think I did. You probably did amazing. Now, in these instances, what you would need to do is make sure that you have proper follow up information. So, whomever set up the interview for you, whether it be the recruiter or whether it be the hiring manager, you want to make sure that you have the proper contact information to follow up. Post your interview, you sent your thank you note, you know, expressing your gratitude and the opportunity to speak with the hiring manager. Now, if it's been a few days, say for instance, you had your interview on Tuesday and now it is the next week and it's Monday, and you haven't heard anything yet, follow up with an email to the recruiter that or to whomever set up the interview to see what the next steps are if a decision has been made. Now, what this does is gives that person an alert to say, "Oh, wow, I have not gotten back with this candidate, and I need to at least give he or she some information about what's going on." So, first things first, get proper follow up information. Make sure you have that contact. Now, in your interview, when they ask you, do you have any questions? One of those questions that you should ask is, what is the next step? It'll give you context as to how long you should be waiting to hear back from that particular company. Now, sometimes it takes up to 2 weeks, sometimes it could be a month, depending on the urgency in which they need that role filled. So, in some instances, just be patient with the process and understand that some things take time. Every company is different, so you may be waiting for a response a lot longer than you would have in another company. So, think of it in the mindset of, okay, they may have a lot going on, especially during COVID, trying to figure out ways to, if they want this position to be on site or if they want this position to still be virtual. There are some decisions that are still being made during this process, even after the vaccine and all of these other things that have been put in place. So keep that in mind as well. Now, the third thing that I would say, the last thing, is just keep it moving. Keep it moving. If you have done your due diligence in following up and asking your questions during the interview, keep it moving. If you haven't heard anything from the recruiter or hiring manager, start applying for other jobs. Keep it moving. Don't get so wrapped up in one company that you putting all of your eggs in one basket and you're just get this overwhelming, agonizing feeling of not getting called back. Keep it moving. Apply for another job. And in fact, when you are applying for jobs, and say for instance you are unemployed at the moment, it is very much so healthy to apply for multiple jobs. That is perfectly okay. Now, if you're in a position where you are working and you're thinking to yourself, well, I do want to leave. However, I still have a job and I'm okay with the waiting game. I'm okay. I don't need to apply for 4 and 5 different positions. I'm actually okay with just applying for this one and maybe another. However, if you are actively seeking employment, just keep it moving. Just keep it moving and don't get wrapped up in what you did not receive from this job. In which case, you don't want to be a part of a company that does not know how to communicate to you what it is that they are looking for and how long their process is. That can be a telltale sign of the communication that you would be receiving if you were to get that job. So I hope that helped. Again, go to and visit my website, HR Impact Services, to view a full list of all services that I provide. We can even chat for about 30 minutes to see what your needs are and how I can better assist you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.